Hi everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these throw pillow covers using thrift store sweaters. Alright, so for this project I am going to be using thrift store sweaters. You can use sweaters that you already have in your own home. You don't have to go to the thrift store. If you do, make sure you wash them really well. Just follow the instructions on each of the sweaters or whatever fabrics you happen to grab from the thrift store to do this project. I got pretty lucky because I went on a Monday, and Monday was yellow tags, and the yellow tags were all half off, and it just so happened that these sweater blouses all had these yellow tags on them, and two of them were $4.99. No, two of them were $2.99, so I got them for $1.50, and then three of them were $4.99, so I got them for $2.50. I thought that was a pretty good deal, including the one that I'm wearing, which was $2.99, but it wasn't a yellow tag, but still, it was only $2.99, so $3 for that. So I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, if you don't find sweaters, you could use a table cover, you could use curtain fabric, you could use fabrics from some other tops. Unless you already happen to have some at home, then I suggest that you just use what you already have. Okay, so let's get started on this project. For this one, I'm going to be using the body of the sweaters. So let me show you what else I'm going to use for this project. Okay, so I'm going to be using my already existing throw pillows. I can just cover right over them, but I happen to have these that have a little zipper, so I can actually open them up and then remove the inside pillow. So if you have that type of throw pillows, you might want to opt for that instead of just covering it. So that gives you a nice clean white base to work on. Alright, so in order to decorate my throw pillows and make them perfect for the holidays, I did get some scrap fabrics. If you happen to already have some, you can use that. Again, look in the thrift stores and see if you can find anything. Just make sure you wash everything. I got this one from Walmart. It is sort of like a sweater fabric. I was looking for maybe like a linen or something like that I could use for the back of my sweaters, because what I want to do is not use all of the sweater to do a pillow, because I feel like I want to have some of this left over, especially if you didn't find enough sweaters. Maybe you only find two, but you want to do 4 pillows. So what you do is just use some of this for the front, and then the back part, use it for another front for another pillow. So then you'll need a contrasting fabric for the back of your pillow. So that's optional. You don't have to do that. It could be something with prints. It could be something solid. It doesn't really matter. So that's what I said. If you can find yourself even like curtains or table covers, or even like napkins, large fabric napkins, those are great to do a pillow form or a pillow cover. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm also going to be using some ribbons and some little cordings. I don't know what else I'm going to use, but I've got different sizes of ribbon here. And this one, for example, has some little wooden beads on it. It's got some little stars on it. I thought it'd be cute to incorporate that in there. I also have some yarn in case maybe I want to make some little pom-poms to hang off of them. I did have this one little sweater that has this very lacy type of fabric, and it's got this cute little fringes on it. So you want to look for things like that, because you can use that to embellish your pillows. I will show you something on one of these. Actually, there's a couple of sweaters that I wanted to show you. See this one right here? It has this cable knitted right here in the middle. That would be really cute for the front of one of my pillows. Let me see. There's another one here. For example, this one has these cute little pockets. Now, wouldn't that be cute for a nice long little pillow like that? Or if it's too wide for my square pillow, I can always sew it up a little bit more here. Now, I will let you know that you can sew these up, or you can just use your hot glue gun, or you can use fabric glue. I'm going to use my hot glue gun because I want to make it quick and easy, and I don't want to have to be dealing with having to pull out some thread and things like that to match. Now, this particular sweater, I grabbed it. It's very, very plain, but I like the bottom edge of it. It has a very nice little difference in design right there, so I think this will be a good decoration, and I'll be showing you what I'm going to do with that. Okay, and this one just had a really nice you know, texture to it. So I thought it was really nice. It's also like a little bit of a different color. And this one, well, it's brown. And this could also be used for a couple of the backings for a couple of the sweaters in case I don't want to have them all be in this neutral color. Now, let's see, what else am I going to use besides my glue gun, as I said? Well, I'm going to be using my scissors to cut things up. So let's get to crafting. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to cut out the pillow back so we can get a size for this. Now, if you have removed a cover from your existing pillow, you can just use that to measure with. Otherwise, you'll need to measure your pillow across both ways just to make sure in case it is not square. So mine measures about 21 inches. It's about 20 this way. Let me make sure I'm doing it from seam to seam. There's no seam over here. But yeah, it's about 20 by 20. Now I want to give it a 1/4 inch seam allowance on 4 sides. So I need to go with a 20.5. So let me go ahead and measure this. It is just a little bit less than 20, which means it just compacts the pillow form that I have here just a little bit, which is nice because it's actually kind of squishy. So once I put it in here, it becomes nice and firm. So it's okay if it goes in a little bit snug. So I'm going to use this as my measurement. But like I said, I'm going to give it a 1/4 inch on each side. 1/4 inch this way, 1/4 inch this way. That's a 1/2 inch. So instead of 20, I'm going to go with 20.5 on both ways. So that's what I want to measure. Alright, so for the back of my pillow, I've already got my fabric that I want to use on there, and I actually have it on the fold. Now, if I wanted to just do where I just sew it all the way around the 4 edges, then I would just go a 1/4 inch, like I said, bigger on each side and on the bottom and on the top. But I would actually give this side maybe a 1/2 inch bigger so that when I do stuff my pillow in there and I'm going to close it up, I have a little bit more to fold in and then hand stitch it. I'm going to do what is called an envelope opening, where right in the center the fabrics just overlap each other. So I'm actually going to cut 2 of this same size in order to assure that I have enough to overlap. Okay, so I'm just going to basically follow along, and this fabric keeps moving on me. You might want to pin it. So I've got some pins here, and I'm just going to pin it down because I'm using that as my pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting around 1/4 inch. I'm going to pin the other corners first. I'm going to cut this around and I shall be back. Okay, so I've already cut out the 2 pieces that are the size of this. So here I have them, and it had a right side and the wrong side, which is the inside. This one is kind of hard to tell. It almost looks the same, but I'm going to keep in mind that this is going to be the right side, which is, you know, the outer side of the fabric that we all see. I'm just going to pin it, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Make sure you put your pin head on the side that's supposed to be the right side. Okay, so now I can take these 2, and I'm going to put this one back on the table here just to help me with the size, or if you have a cutting mat, then you can use that for your guide where you're putting things. Okay, so I'm going to put one down first, making sure this is my pin where I stuck it in, making sure that's on the facing up for now. Okay, and this is my center. So just a little bit beyond my center, I can go ahead and fold this in like so. It doesn't have to be straight, but just try to make it as straight and pretty as you can. Just like that. So then I'm going to take the other one, and my pin is right here. So this tells me this is facing up. And I'm going to align it. And I want this to be folded in as well. So I'm just going to remove this pin and put it right here. I want it to be folded in as well, and it's overlapping. See the other one over here? So you're either going to take this, when you cut your front, you're going to sew it all the way around, because this will be your opening right here, and that's where you're going to stuff your pillow in. Okay, now it doesn't have to overlap so much like mine is. It could be overlapping a little bit less. As a matter of fact, Let me fold it a little bit more. Over here. There's no, like, any specific measurement. So just put these on here. Okay. Now another thing to keep in mind is I'm looking at something that I wasn't looking at, and then the knit on this fabric, the little stripes on the knit are going this way, and here I've got them this way. So I need to turn this around actually so that they're both going the same way. So you want to make sure the grain of your fabric is going in the same way. Okay, there we go. I'm going to pull it back, fold up a bit, just enough to make sure that it's overlapping enough. Okay, now once I have them overlapping, I'm going to take all the layers like that. Let me get a big pin so you can see. And I'm going to pin these parts together so they don't move on me. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now make sure you're not pinning it to this. So let's move that out of the way. And let's pin it over here. And right here, these folded parts, you want to pin them together. And then you want to pin right here where it opens up so none of this fabric moves on you. Okay, now this is a sweater fabric, so it's very stretchy. So you might want to pick something that's not so, you know, stretchy for the backing like I have chosen. It's going to be very loosey-goosey. Okay, so this is now my backing, and it's all pinned so it doesn't move on me. And this is the right side of my fabric where I have it pinned. I can remove this pin now because now I have these to tell me that. Okay, so now I need to choose the sweater that I want to use and cut for the front. Okay, let me go ahead and just gently fold this over, move it out of the way, and bring this over here, the sweater. Now, I am going to cut off the sleeves. Now that I'm here, I'm going to end up using these for another project, so I'm going to save them off to the side. Cut off the sleeve over here. Now this sweater here happens to have a really nice little border, little edging here on the shoulders and such, so I'm going to cut that out because that could actually be used as a trim. And I'm going to cut from the back first, and then I'll cut it from the front. So I don't want to cut it while it's folded together like this because it might not be, you know, perfectly overlapped, and I may end up cutting into the trim on the other side where, you know, if I'm not looking. Yeah, make sure you remove these little sizes. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut off this little shoulder trimming. It's really nice. It goes around the neck. It's a kind of decorative, so I might be able to use that for something else. If not, I can just throw it away, but I'll save it for now. And now I'm going to cut it open on the side seams. Okie dokie. So I've cut off this part of the sweater. I think this was the back. Yeah, there's with the sides. I'm going to go ahead and save this one for a different project, or maybe another matching pillow. And I'm going to take this one. And this is the right side of the fabric. I can tell by the little ridges here on this edge here. It's so pretty. What I want to do is I want to make this look like a flap in the front of the pillow. I want to use this, you know, like it coming over the front of it like that, for example, over its, you know, another fabric, and make it look like excuse me, make it look like another envelope. But here I want to put some buttons, and I'll just pull out one here as an example. This probably won't be the one I'm going to use, but I'm just going to pull this one out as an example. And then I'm going to put, you know, 2 or 3 buttons depending on how wide this ends up being or where I think I need it. But I'm not actually going to, it's not actually going to be buttoned. The buttons are just going to be there for decoration and make it look like it was button closed. So because I want it to overlap about this much of fabric right here, like about so much, I'm going to go ahead and cut it, but I'm going to fold it in half right here, and then I'm going to measure down from this edge how wide I want this little flap. okay? And then I can just mark it with some pins so I can make sure that I cut it all the same. And I said, if you have a cutting board, you can use a straight edge ruler, or your quilting ruler. I was thinking about 8 inches, so that's where I'm going to mark it. You could use a fabric pencil that erases, that air erases, to mark it, you know, a quilter's pencil. Or a tailor's chalk, quilter's chalk. Okay. I'm just marking it like that. And pinning. All right. So then I can just cut that piece out. Okay, now let's grab the original cover or the back of our, actually let's just use the back that I have here. This is going to be the back. Let's pop that open so we get an idea of the size that we're making our pillow form, our cover. Okay, let's put these away. Okay. This is going to be the other side of the pillow, and we need to cut it to size as well, by the way. Let me go ahead and cut this edge nice and straight. Well, doing my best. We are going to put it against this edge here, like that. Okay, and just to be on the right, on the you know, on the safe side, this is about 19. So I want to make sure I do the same thing with this one, okay? Make sure that it's stretched out the right size as the other one. Okay. We went from 20.5 to 19 now, but that's okay because this fabric stretches, and it's going to stretch quite a bit when we put our pillow form in there. Okay, so I'm measuring 19 there. I'm somewhere in the middle here. And now this fabric does stretch a lot. It's very, the sweater, I can just imagine the sweater had to have been really comfortable. And did I mention that I washed? Yeah, I did. So just make sure you wash them. So they smell good. Okay, so now I've got that little piece cut out. And any little bits you have left, you might want to save them. Maybe make some little mittens for your little snow people. Okay. Throw that over. Okay, so now we know we're trying to build the front. So now I need another piece because obviously this flap only goes to a certain point, and I need the front to go all the way to cover over here. So I'm going to use this piece here. I'm going to do the same thing and cut the edge. Try to cut it nice and straight. And we're not going to worry about this top part because that's going to get trimmed off anyway. Okay, so we got this really nice straight edge, and this is the right side of the fabric now. It's not a sweater anymore. So we're going to line it over here to this edge. So it's got a little lump there, I guess, where it was hanging on a sweater, on a hanger or something. Okay, so now we want to trim this one the same size, and look, all I'm doing is just folding it over and then cutting right. I think my scissors are ready to be sharpened again, or I should just grab my other scissors. These are older, but they're a little bit sharper. I'm having a little bit of a problem because this fabric is so squiggly. Okay, now I also have this edge here that's not straight, but I want to cut as little as I possibly can because I don't want to cut it too short, and then this piece doesn't overlap it. You know, like it doesn't overlap it enough. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half here. Bring it over to myself because I'm having a problem cutting it. Not to mention the fact that I'm sitting down. That doesn't help. I'm just going to cut off the folded part here. Sometimes when you have limitations, you just got to figure out a way to do it without having to, you know, strain yourself too much. Okay, and it's one of those days where I was out earlier doing errands, so it kind of got to me and my body's not wanting to be up anymore. Okay, now I'm going to take this one and overlap it over this other piece, and they're the same size as the one that I'm doing for the bottom. So now I can pin this. Now this is going to probably be the most elaborate because I am making it go over. Now you might not do this. You might just cut two square, rectangular, whatever shape your pillow is, and then just sew them and leave an opening, and that's the end of that. But I'm making it kind of a little bit elaborate. But I want you to learn this way. The other way that I'm going to do the other pillows possibly might not be the same way. Okay. So now that I've got that pinned, I'm going to turn it around. This is the right side. This is the right side of this one. And I'm going to place it over it, like so. And then just align them. Again, so I have the two right sides facing each other. Okay, so the camera decided to die on me somewhere along the way, but all I've been doing is just pinning it all the way around, so just to make sure that it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to get my hot glue gun ready. It's already on, but I just want to make sure that I have enough glue out here because I'm going to go ahead and start hot gluing all around the edges, because remember, this is going to be able to open up here and we can flip it around to the right side, and then we can stuff our pillow form in there. Now this fabric has been very stretchy and very naughty on me and has been moving around, so I'm just hoping that everything is going to align up nicely when I'm finally gluing it together. So that's why I want to pin it. So if you have a very squiggly fabric, make sure you pin it everywhere. I'm going to pin it from the center over here just to make sure it doesn't move on me. Okay, so now all I'm going to do, because I put my pins kind of inside, they're not very close to the edge, I'm going to open this up like that, and then I'm just going to douse it with glue like that, and then put it down, and then do the next spot. Put glue, and I'm going to go like in a little zigzaggy line, or you can just go in a straight line however you want. But I'm going to get this all, and I'm actually going more than half an inch that I mentioned at the beginning, because like I said, this fabric is very stretchy. So that's going to give me a little bit of a problem. Let's move this table like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this like that so you can see what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm going to open it up like so. Get the glue ready. My original plan to go in a zigzag is not working because the glue lifts up the little fibers of the sweater and makes it fold over. So just go as straight as you can and then just press it. Be careful because, you know, it is hot. Okay, then we'll do the next area. Make sure you start right where the other ended so you don't have a little gap, a little opening in your fabric. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. Okay, so I've already glued all the way around the pillow form, and I also wanted to make sure here in these parts where it's all folded over on top of each other, you make sure you put glue between all those layers, especially right here where I have so many bits folded up. Now this part right here is going to stay unglued because obviously this is where it's going to open up. But here where this flaps over, this part that I folded down, I did put a little drop of glue here and there, and I sealed it so it wouldn't, you know, just flop open. And then over here I did the same thing. So one thing that I forgot to do before I even started anything was to make sure that this part here with this trim, that is glued down as well. So let me move this pin a little bit. So I'm just going to go over from behind here and just make sure that is all glued down, because we don't want an opening right here. Okay, I have added glue all around this little edge. I'm going to turn it around and I can remove all these pins so we can get ready to turn this over, and then we can check to see if we have any little gaps that didn't get glued down. Okay, so now that I've removed all the pins, I can turn it over, get it from the little corner, turn that one over, push it in, pull it out. The same thing over here, and then the other corner, and I can already see that it looks really pretty. Even though they're two different sweaters, or different fabrics, I should say. Look at that. And here's the opening where I'm going to stuff my pillow in through. That's called an envelope opening, okay? And look at the front. And it's got this cute little trim here. I can remove these pins here. And that's been glued down, but I suggest gluing it down before you actually pin it to the other part. Okay, but I left a little bit, like a little bit of a flop here open, or flap I should say, because I want it to look like, you know, it's actually going to like button down, but it's not really going to button down. So I would suggest also, before you do all of this, you know, when you pick out your little buttons, whatever you decide to use, that you might want to sew them on there. Of course, I have the opening over here, so I can go in through there and sew them on there so we have that little bit of a thread look on them. I'm going to see if I can find 3 or 4 buttons that are similar. If I can't find 4 similar buttons, then I am just going to use 2. Look, these are cute. Or just use different ones. Okay, now another thing you can do, let's say you did the same thing as I did. You didn't sew them on. What you can do is you can just take a needle and thread and just sew through around it on the same button, make a little knot here in the back, and you know, so that it has a little thread through it, and then you can just hot glue it onto your little pillow. So give it that little threaded look. I'm going to see what I can find, and I'm going to put, I kind of like these two. These are really cute. Look like little coat buttons. I would have liked to have 3 of those, but I don't see another one. Okay, so oh, I did find another one. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to use those 3. This one doesn't have quite the same dark color, but that's okay. I'm going to use 3 of those to decorate this particular pillow, and it's going to be very simple. I just don't like this little bitty bit here, but you know what, I could throw it in the washer and just fix that real quick. Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and just thread this around, lots of thread, and actually this one already has some on there, and then just hot glue them right in place, and then we're going to put our pillow inside. Alright everyone, I went ahead and I reached from behind in the opening back here and reached my hand in there to hold the button while I went ahead and I sewed through, just to make sure that I wasn't sewing all the way through this other fabric. So I had my hand in there. But then I've gone here and I've actually putting some hot glue so that the buttons don't move around. And not only that, but I don't want them to get pulled off. You know, my kitty might be messing around with it, and also you know, kids or whatever might be pulling on them, a little baby or something. You don't want your buttons to fall off, so a little bit of hot glue or a little bit of fabric glue would help. So now I have this opening right here, so I'm going to go ahead and put my pillow form, if I can find where I put it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put it onto my pillow, so I'll show you that in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my pillow cover over this pillow form, and there, I can just pull it over and get the other corner pulled over, and see how this just closes up like that. So I'm going to reach in there and get this corner in there nicely, because it's kind of folded up a little bit, and it's nice and snug in there. I really like that. Get that all the way into the corner. And look, this is the opening, the envelope. And there we go. We're just going to puff it, pull on it. I'm also going to check it because there's some little areas here where I see where I didn't catch it. So I'm going to go ahead and seal that now. And just pinch it. There we go. It would be the same thing that if you decided to make an opening on the side seam rather than doing this envelope type of pillow, and you just wanted to either glue from a certain point and then around the corner all the way around to the other sides and just leave a little opening here and then turn it over obviously and stuff your pillow through there, you would just fold in the little edges and you could hand stitch it or you could hot glue it. So you're either going to sew it or glue it. But look, you guys, this is just for the holidays. But I'm actually liking this style of pillow for the whole year. It'll be great for next fall for sure. But look at that, how cute that looks. Okay, so I'm going to make another one. I'm actually going to use the same envelope backing, so I'm not going to show you that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the front and I'm going to go and decorate it before I put it together with the backing, so that when I turn it over, everything's nice and sealed. You know, whatever ribbon or whatever trim I might put on it, whatever I might put will be caught inside of there. Now, it could also be decorated once I've already made a form. And let's say I just make this this envelope backing opening and then just one plain front here. And then I could just take little pieces of scraps and cut them to any shapes that I want, and I could either use that that iron-on bonding between them, or you could just hot glue or use a fabric glue to glue your little decorations on it. But isn't that cute? I love it. Oh, it's so squishy and it feels so soft thanks to that sweater. Okay, I'm gonna get to another one and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I made another pillow. I was gonna do the envelope backing, but I decided to do a flat back and use this front of a sweater that had this really pretty cable knit on it, and on the bottom edge of the sweater it had this little trim. So I decided to use that, leave this part open. So then I glued all of this closed and I left this part open. So then I turned it around and then I stuffed it with a pillow, and then I ended up bringing this part over the back part and then hot gluing it down really well, so it just looks like a nice little trim here. And to finish it off, I decided to put a little pom-pom. I'm going to put another one here because I plan on setting it on the couch like this so we can see the little trim and we can see the little pom-poms. Now the pom-poms, I took this white or kind of creamy off-white. What color is this? Does it say on here? This I got it from Walmart. Let's see, does it have a number or something? It's just called white. Okay, it's 10001 white. Okay? And this is Mainstays, in case you're wondering what yarn I use. Now, of course, you'll probably want to pick a yarn that will go with your pillows or your fabric, whatever you're using, if you want to make these little pom-poms. I was trying to find a Christmassy yarn that maybe went from red to white to green and so forth, you know, a variegated one, but I couldn't find one. And then the ones that I did find for Christmas were these small little skeins of yarn, very small, and not only that, but they were like $5 each. So I said, no, I think I'm gonna get me this one. This was $1.97, so for $2 I'm gonna make some nice little pom-poms that'll go on my pillows. It'll look really cute. Okay, so all I did is I took all my 4 fingers and I just held the end here, and then I kind of spread my fingers apart a little bit like that, and then just start wrapping yarn around. Now I did about 50 turns, I believe, when I did this one, so it just depends on how many turns you want to do or how big or small you want to make it. Now you could use a little piece of cardboard, a nice hard piece of cardboard, and use that to wrap these around. So because, you know, your fingers tend to get tired, and after a while they start to close down a little bit. So it's not a perfect pom-pom, but then I go and I cut it and trim it so that I kind of round it off. Okay, I lost track of how many I have here. I've got about 10, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. It's about 50 turns. And I'm just going to, now be careful that you don't snag it on your rings. I'm just going to slide it off very carefully. And then just grab it from the middle. And then cut another piece about 8 or 9 inches long, and then wrap up right in the middle all of those loops of yarn that you just made. Make it as tight as you can. Okay, so now you've got something like this. So then you want to go in and you start cutting the little loops. And I do a few at a time. I don't try to do too many at a time. Just do a few at a time. I think I got them all. There's a few right there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is just kind of want to shake it around. I got it from the string where I kind of tied them together, and then just shake them around. Just shake it around like that. And then you can go with your scissors and trim it so that they're all basically about the same size. Just go around like you're giving it a little haircut, shaping it a little bit. Don't try to make it too perfect. I think it looks pretty when it's just all, you know, just shaggy, and it just looks so pretty that way. It almost looks like a little snowball. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that. If I pull one a little too much, I'll just trim it. Okay, so that's why you want to make sure you tie it nice and tight. Okay, so once we have it where we want it, I feel like it needs a little bit more. Let me give it a little bit more trimming. I'm going to hold it like this. Okay, and then what you do, open it up and hold it this other way. So you can see all the long bits. Okay, and then you just grab it at another angle. I didn't do that with this other one. I just cut it up and it came out nice. Okay, so there's my little pom-pom. So now what I want to do is I want to take some needle and thread and sew it to this little corner. So I don't know what I did with my needle and thread, you guys. Okay, so I couldn't find my needle and thread because I had actually stuck it into my pillow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this little corner and then just grab the fabric and just sew through it first a few times, like so. And there's a little bit of hot glue there, so it's kind of hard to get it through. Okay, so then I'm just going to grab my pom-pom and decide, well, which way does it hang the prettiest, and I think it hangs the prettiest this way. So this little spot here in the back, I'm just going to grab it like so and put my needle through as many of those yarns as I can, bring it over, put it through the pillow corner, and then again through the yarn. And you just keep doing this a few times to make sure that it is on here and it's not going to move around. Okay, I think that is good. I'm going to go ahead and knot it and cut off the thread. Okay, there we go. Nice little poofy pom-poms. Isn't that cute, you guys? Like I said, this is going to be on my couch like that. I'm squishing it down so that you can see it in the screen of the camera here, because I have it a little too close, so it doesn't, I can't show the whole size because then it'll be off camera. So there we go. There you can see the little pom-poms there in the corner. I mean, if you wanted to, you could add another two over here, and that'd be super cute. Okay, I'm gonna make one more pillow, and I'm just gonna take some of this as well. And I don't know if I'm going to do the envelope opening. I like the envelope opening a lot because it was just so easy just to pop it open and then pull out your pillow form and stick it into something else. Because hot gluing it like this, you kind of make it a little bit permanent. Or maybe it would be better if you just stitched it closed, because then you could just trim off the thread. You could hot glue the rest of it and then just trim it. I mean, so, you know, like blind stitch it on here and then just trim off the threads and open it up. Okay, you guys, I'm going to make another one and just show you how I'm going to decorate it. Okay, for this other pillow, it's actually a little bit smaller than the other one that I was working with. So I've already gone ahead and I've cut my two pieces here for that smaller one. It's an 18 by 18 pillow. And this one I'm doing the envelope opening here. So I've already gone ahead and I've pinned them together, and then I've glued the edges here so that they stay together. And then I also had gone in here where this piece folded onto this front piece, and I put a little bit of glue there too, so it just doesn't, you know, come out, you know, the raw edge doesn't come out of it. Okay, so I'm just keeping it pinned here together before I can get the other front part face down onto it. So I'm going to move this over. I'm going to fold it and get it out of the way. And I'm going to take this piece, which I've already cut to the size, which is an 18 by 18. This piece of fabric, I bought it in a bundle like this. It was about $8. I actually didn't even know how much it was. I was going to ask at the register, but I had some distractions and I actually just ended up paying for it, and then I just realized I didn't even know how much this was. This is $4, and these had pieces, I think they were 18 by maybe 24 inches. And so I left the 18 inches off of one side, and I just trimmed off over here to make it 18 inches. Okay, this is what I trimmed off. So it's not really another 6 inches. So I'm not really sure how big it was. But anyway, I am going to put, since I found this one here, this little lacy top, and it's got these cute little dangly bits on it. So I'm going to obviously just going to use one part of it. I'm not going to use the whole thing. So again, I want to go ahead and trim off the front off of the back. And it's so pretty. I don't even want to ruin it, but I really want to use it on, it only cost me $1.50, so I can save. I got hairs on it. Oh my goodness. Okay, those are mine. I had it around my neck for a moment, and I was holding it while I was cutting the other pieces. And okay, so now I'm just gonna just cut it, and there we go. I'm already cutting, so I can't change my mind. Okay, so I want to bring this upward so that I don't want these to get caught in the edge here. So I want to bring them up high enough so that when we put out our pillow, this is hanging at the bottom. And I really like the contrast of this lace against this plaid. Okay, just making sure all these little bits. That one's not going to get caught inside, but this one is. This one's a little messed up. You know what I'm going to do? I want to pull it over, and then just pull this over, and so forth. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to pin this so it doesn't move on me. At different places. I also want to pin these little shaggy bits. I want to pin them so that they stay in here. They don't, you know, move against. Just, you might want to pin each one. And just don't forget to remove the pins, just to make sure that, you know, they're not going to be moving all over the place and getting caught. Obviously, when you're gluing down, you can just look and make sure that these are not coming out here or on the sides over here. Just like this one over here. I want that one to stay in. So I'm just going to put a pin. Okay, I don't want to waste too much time. You can tell what I'm doing. I'll do the rest off camera. So I'm just going to pin all of this so it doesn't move in different spots. And then I can go ahead and trim off the excess. Let me go ahead and pin it here just to be on the safe side. It doesn't move on me. It'd be nice to actually iron this fabric so it doesn't fold up. Okay, so make sure you iron your fabrics. Don't do what I'm doing. Okay, I'm trying to do this. It's already late in the evening, and I'm working on 2 videos because it's Thanksgiving this week, and I want to have that video ready for the end of the week, because I'm not doing a food video. I'm doing another craft video, so you'll get 2 this week. 2 craft videos this week. Okay, trim over here. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to do this over here. And then I'm going to bring that, the back side, the envelope opening side. And I am going to put it, this is obviously the right side of this one. So I'm going to put it so that the right side of my opening, which is this side here, where my nice fold is, I want to put that facing down on that one. So I'm just going to pin it, guys, and I am going to glue all the way, or sew all the way around because I'm going to have an opening right here, okay? So I don't need to make sure that I leave any openings over here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, and once I have that all glued, I will flip it over, and then we'll put our pillow inside so you can see how that looks. Alright everyone, I have turned this over, and here's my little opening to stuff my pillow into it. But here is the front. Look how cute that is. Look at how nice that is. Now, I hope this gives you an idea of how you can take a fabric like this one, or even like this, and do both sides of your pillow. Cut out your pieces, and then you can take the front side and put whatever you want on it. Now, this one I didn't glue it down, but when I glued the sides, it got glued to the sides here anyway, so I didn't have to put anything down here. But if you wanted, you could put little dots of glue here and there just to capture some little spots. This one, I can put my hand all the way underneath, but if I didn't want this to move around, I could go under here and just add little dots of glue and then push it down just to make sure that it doesn't move around. But look at how cute that is with the little tassels hanging off there on the bottom, the little crocheted bits. It looks so cute. Okay, let's put it on our pillow. Okay, so I think my pillow is in there all nice now. Yes. And look at how cute that is in the bottom. Oh, I love this. It looks so cute. I love it. Okay, I think I'm going to maybe make a couple more, but that's going to be it for the video, what I'm going to show you. I think they came out great. Let's see how they look all together next to each other. Alright everyone, I have completed these 4 pillows using these thrift store sweaters. This is the first one that I did with the buttons on the side, so it looks like they actually button down. And this is the one that has the envelope closing on the back. And then I did this other one where I used the center front of the sweater with this cable knit right here in the middle. And this one I actually just glued all the way around, left the part open so I could stick the pillow in, and then glued down the opening. Created 2 little pom-poms on each side. Super cute. And then you saw me make this one with the same envelope closure in the back using this pretty black and red fabric, and then this little sweater front, or actually I used the back to create that, and that looks super cute moving along. And then I also made this other small one. I made an extra one with a burlap ribbon running across and then some thin ribbons to hold it down, and then I used this little cording that had these little wooden beads and these little wooden stars. Look at that. And this one also has the envelope closure in the back. So there we go everyone. I think this was a really great idea to upcycle actually some sweaters and make something else out of them. And they were not expensive. I didn't spend a lot of money because the pillows that I have, or I already had the pillows, and so I spent, let's see, maybe about $10 to buy all the sweaters that I purchased. And of course, I still have a lot of pieces left over. And then I also use the sleeves for another project. That will be a video for Friday, so make sure you look out for that one. Okay, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Leave a nice comment down below. Tell me what you think of these pillows. I think they're super cute, and I hope that you too will think they are super cute. I want to thank everyone who's been subscribing to my channel. Thank you so very much. Make sure you hit the notification bell, and that will let you know when I put up my videos, which is every Tuesday and every Friday, and sometimes I have a little weekend vlog. I want to have one this weekend, probably not, because it is Thanksgiving weekend, and it is also my husband's and my anniversary, our wedding anniversary. It is on the 28th of November, and that is exactly when Thanksgiving is falling. So we're going to take our time to be together for the weekend, so I won't have a little vlog then. But I just want to wish everyone a really wonderful day. If you do celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope that you spend it with your family or with your friends, or that you are somewhere and enjoying it. Even if you are on your own, I want to wish you a very good day, and I hope that you get lots of rest. If you happen to have to work that day, that you do get something good to eat. All right, everyone, make sure you share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.